Hello everyone, welcome. We're going to start today in a seated position, so find a comfortable spot anywhere on your mat, on the grass, on the sand, wherever you'd like to be, and just feel like you can cross your legs in whatever way feels comfortable, one leg in front. Maybe you're flexy enough to be in half lotus or in full lotus, up to you to sit in the way that you would like. So just get comfortable and let's root down through those sit bones and just see if you can allow a little bit of relaxation to happen in the hips. And then just feel some length through the torso, some more relaxation across those shoulders, and just allow the hands to rest on your knees. And the palms can be down or maybe they're up, whatever way feels good for you. And then close your eyes. So while you're here, just notice the sensations around you. It's just observing what is surrounding you. And notice your breath as well, entering the body, exiting the body. Nice and smooth, relaxing, calming. Now see if you can notice that breath getting a little bit deeper. So just dropping down a little bit farther into that torso, down to the lower belly when you inhale. And allow your exhale to be complete, releasing the breath. Nice, long, even breaths. The more you experience these breaths, the more you can let go. You can let go of worry. You can let go of thoughts from before this session that concerned you. You can let go of thoughts for after this session that haven't even happened yet. Allow yourself to be present in this moment, feeling the calm flowing across the body. Good, so bring your focus back a little bit more and deepen the breath a little bit more. Try to hold all that nice calm that you've created, and then gently open the eyes. And we're just going to start with a little bit of movement by doing some torso rotations. So just gently leaning forward and to the side and back, just creating some circles with the torso. And you might start nice and slow, and then they get a little bit bigger. And just try not to hold on to your breath, but instead let the flow of the breath move with the movement of the torso. Good, nice and big. And then let's go the other direction as well. Again, nice flowy breath with the flowy movement. Good. Nice. Good, and then come back up to a seated position. Good. Okay, we're going to just do a little bit of opening in the neck and the shoulders. So let's take the hands down by the mat. Okay, we're going to drop the left ear over by the left shoulder. And at the same time, drop the right hand down into the mat. And you should feel some length across the shoulder, down the arm even a little bit. So just keep pressing down to feel the opening in the neck. Breathing here. Good. And if you want to add to it, you might just rock the head forward to back a little bit, just to loosen up a little bit more in that area. Feels good to lengthen here. Good. Come back to center and lift up the head, and then let's just drop the ear over to the right now. So at the same time, dropping that left hand down into the floor, you're going to feel some length in the neck and possibly down the shoulder and maybe a little bit down the arm. Good. Just breathe into it to allow that opening to happen. And again, you can add that rocking forward and back of the head if you want to just add to the stretch, the depth a little bit more. Good. Breathing and opening. Nice. We don't get into the neck very often, but you can do this at your desk if you're on Zoom a lot or if you're on your computer a lot. Good. So bring the head back up to center. And let's just do some nice shoulder rolls just to get a little more movement going and releasing of the neck. And go the other direction as well, just for a few. Nice. Okay, we're going to keep our right leg bent here. We're going to straighten the left leg out to the side. So if you are seated on something, you can stay there. You might be on a blanket or a towel or a cushion to help your hips just come up a little bit. That feels good. And then just keep this leg flexed so the toes are curling up and you're keeping this leg active. Now if you have a block or something, you can put it in front of you for a little bit of support, but you don't have to have it. Hands in front. Let's take a nice deep inhale to create some length through the center of the body. And then on your exhale, just bend your elbows and lean forward. And I'm sure you're going to feel this in several places. Let's inhale again. And exhale, bend the elbows. Maybe you go a little bit farther. If you do have a block or a cushion or a really thick book that you can rest your forearms on, feel free to do that. Or you might be able to even bring those elbows down to the ground. Either way is just fine, whatever works for you, and just keep that breath going. When you inhale, you're creating some length through the spine, but dropping the sit bones down. And on your exhale, allowing for a little bit of release. Just keep that breath going. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you might be able to crawl the hands in front of you and maybe even drop your head. You don't have to go here, but it does allow for a little more depth in this stretch, right? So just land where feels good for you. And just keep breathing, allowing the release to happen in the legs. So if you stay for a few breaths, you can really feel it. Good. Now let's lift ourselves back up. We're going to come into a little bit of a flow to our side plank. So our right hand's coming to the outside of the right leg. You're just going to lean over here so that you can turn the left foot down, toes pointing forward, okay? We're going to use our arm and lift ourselves up onto that leg, keeping some weight in the left foot and lifting the rib cage. Now we're going to release and come back down and open up the arm. And let's use our breath. We're going to do this a few times. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, releasing and opening up. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down and open. Inhale, lift. And exhale, open. And now on this last one, come on up. And you're going to stay here. So press into that left foot and into the right hand. Lift the rib ceiling and reach that left hand over your ear. Breathing and breathing. Good. Nice. And then release and come back down. Good. Just bring the legs together and you can shake them out before we switch to the other side. Good. So bring this left foot in. The right leg opens up now, keeping the toes pointed. And same thing, if you used a block before to rest your arms on, then use that again. Otherwise, your hands are coming in front. Inhale, lift up through the torso. And then just simply bend the elbows and lean. So you just go as far as you can. Inhale again and really lengthen. Exhale, lean forward. Good. So again, you can rest your arms on the block, or you can maybe take the elbows down to the floor. Just keep your breath going here. Finding length and then finding some depth. This right leg is still active. And again, if you want, you can reach the hands away and drop your head. But you don't have to. You can just stay up in this higher position. Good. We're really just trying to open up the hip here today. Nice. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now let's bring the hands back towards the leg, and we're going to come into our flowy side plank again. So left hand out by the left leg. Lean over so that you can turn those toes in and bring the foot to the floor. Now you're going to put a little bit of pressure into the leg and the hand as you inhale and lift up, lifting that rib cage. And then exhale, come down. Let's open up the arm to the side. Inhale again, press down but lift up. Exhale, come down and reach the arm out to the side. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Nice. Keep going. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. And now on this last one, we're going to hold. Inhale, lifting up. Press down. Lift that right rib cage up. Take the gaze under the arm. And breathe here. Really feel this nice stretch all the way along the right side of the body. Ooh, good. And come on back down. And again, we're going to bring the feet forward and just shake out the legs. Great. Okay, we're going to come into a tabletop position. So just take your legs beside you and come up onto all fours. Spreading the fingers and the knees just under the hips. Lift up that upper back so you're in a nice even position. We're going to do a little flow again, just going forward and back. So just lean yourself forward, taking the heart between the shoulders, and then scoot the hips back to almost the heels. Inhale, come forward. So let's use our breath. Exhale, dropping back. Inhale, forward. Maybe you drop down a little bit more, lifting the gaze. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, forward. Again, you can drop those hips, open the shoulders, lift the gaze. Exhale, take the hips back. Inhale, forward, dropping the hips, lift. And exhale, this time tucking the toes. Now we're going to lift ourselves up to downward facing dog. Good. Feel free to keep your knees bent. You don't have to straighten your legs in downward dog if you don't feel like you can, if the hamstrings are really tight. But I do want you to think of opening those shoulders and pressing down through the hands so the arms are nice and long. And then send the weight back through the tailbone. Good. We're just going to walk the dog here a little bit, bending one knee at a time. Just creating a little bit of movement here. Good. Nice. Moving back and forth. And then come back to neutral. We won't stay here long. We'll take the gaze forward. We're going to walk the feet to the hands. Inhale, lift that heart. And then keep your knees soft as you drop the head down. Good. Just getting into a little bit of a forward fold. And feel free to just wriggle around a little bit here. Maybe swinging side to side a bit, or just keeping the knees bent and allowing them to help you move side to side. Good.
Now we're just going to roll all the way up to standing. So slowly coming up, shoulders relaxing, lifting up the head, and then let's lift the arms up overhead. Bringing the palms together, taking the gaze up. Now you're rooting down through the feet, and you're lifting up through the fingers at the same time. And then we're going to just lean over to the right. So you can look forward if you like. Keep thinking of opening up the heart, rooting down through the feet, but reaching out through the hands. Good, come on back up. Take the gaze up to the hands, and then let's lean over to the other side. Good. Rooting down through the feet, reaching out through the fingers. Good, opening that heart. Lift up towards the ceiling, and just gently take the hands down by your sides. Perfect. Good. So we're going to go into a little balance right now. So you may need the wall, but you may not. And you could try it at the wall, and then when you do this practice again sometime, you can maybe try it without. So let's start with our hands on our hips. And we're just going to come into a specific part of it, and then we're going to add to it, okay? So keeping the gaze forward. You want to try to find a spot that's not moving. Put a little weight into that left foot. We're going to lift the right knee, okay? So just find your balance here, dropping that right hip down a little bit, breathing. And then we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit. We're going to open up this knee to the right, and maybe challenge ourselves more by taking the gaze over the left shoulder. So breathe here. You are rooting down through the left foot and lifting up through the top of the head as you balance here. Good. Now let's bring the knee and the gaze back to the front, and then release. Good. And just let everything kind of move side to side. Good. Okay, let's try the other side. It might feel a little bit different. We're going to root down through the right foot this time, and if you are at a wall, maybe you can have your right hand on the wall. Now, get your focus forward to that spot that's not moving, and let's lift up the left knee. Keeping the hips in place, rooting down, but lifting up, right? And then to challenge ourselves, we're going to open up this knee to the left. And if you want, you can challenge yourself more by taking that gaze over the right shoulder. Good. So anytime you're changing the gaze, you're going to challenge the balance, right? Breathing here. Good. Nice. Keep breathing. Now let's bring the gaze and the knee back, and then take the foot down, and again, just sort of swish side to side. Okay, we're going to do that sequence again, but we're going to add to it. So I'm just going to turn to the side so that you can see what we're going to do. So same thing, hands on the hips, rooting down through the feet. Let's lift up that right knee. Let's open up the knee to the right and take the gaze over the left shoulder. Breathing here. Good. Now let's come back to the front so we're not holding quite as long. We're going to send this right foot back behind us. So to the ball of the foot, bending this left knee. Now drop the right heel down, having the toes at about a 45-degree angle. Bring this right hip forward, and we're in Warrior One, Virabhadrasana A. So really dropping down into the feet, and you can hold here, kind of pressing back with the back of the right thigh here. You can also add arms by lifting those arms overhead, taking the gaze up to the hands and breathing. If it's a lot on the neck, just drop the arms down a little bit. So breathe here. See if you can bend that left knee more and drop down. Nice, deep, long breaths. Good. Nice. Keep dropping that right heel and baby toe down. Awesome. Gaze forward. Take the hands back to the hips. Let's lift the back heel. And then we're going to bring that right knee back up again and take it down. Good. And feel free to swish in between sides. Okay. Again, rooting down through the feet. Hands on the hips. The left knee this time. Good. We're going to open up the knee to the side and look over the right shoulder, not staying here too long, but definitely challenging our balance. Let's bring the knee and the gaze back to the front, and then slowly take this left foot back to the ball of the foot as you bend the right knee. You can always walk the foot over to the right a little bit for a little bit more of a solid stance. Now let's drop that left heel. So the toes, the foot is on a 45-degree angle. Bring this left hip forward. Good, and stay rooted, dropping down through the hips. Again, you can add the arms, keeping the gaze up towards the thumbs, but then dropping down at the same time. Rooting down and reaching up keeps us nice and solid and grounded. Breathe here. Good. Excellent. Hands back to the hips. Lift up that heel. And then with a little momentum, take that left knee up. And then take it back down. Fantastic. Good. And just swish side to side a little bit. Ah, perfect. Okay, let's come back to the front of our mats. Let's lift the arms up just as we did when we first came to standing, so rooting down and lifting up. And now we're going to lean forward. So take your gaze forward, open up your arms, and lead with the heart as you lower down. Good. Taking the hands down to the shins or to the floor and dropping your head. So again, coming into this nice forward fold position. Breathe here. Good. Nice. Let's lift up the head. Let's take the feet back. We're coming into a plank position just for a moment. Then we're going to drop the knees, bring the feet together, open the knees, and come into child's pose. So you're really sending those sit bones back as you reach the fingers forward and away from you, creating length through the spine. So while you're here, just think about really evening out both sides of the torso. So you feel that one is a little bit shorter, that you're kind of niggly in one of the hips or something. Just see if you can keep drawing those hips back, tailbone back. Reaching forward, dropping your head, just keeping your head really relaxed. And allow the breath to really enter the torso again, nice and deep, expanding the rib cage. Really nice. Good. So now we're going to lift the head. Stay where you are. I'm just going to change so you can see what we're going to do next. You're staying up nice and high and then walking the hands over to that right knee. So drop that left hip down. Reach the fingers away from you and drop your head. So you'll feel a little more length all through the left side of the body. Across the rib cage, up to the armpit. Really nice. Breathe here. Keep drawing that left sit bone down. Nice. Good. And then come on back up. Let's crawl the hands back across the center and over to the left. Reach the hands away from your left knee. Drop that right hip down, the right sit bone down, and see if you can drop your head. Breathing here. So now you should be feeling some opening on the right side, along the rib cage to the armpit. Nice. Breathe, breathe, breathe here. Good. Come on back up. Let's take the hands center, and you can just come right back to tabletop. Bring the knees forward. Cross your legs and sit down. Easy peasy. Nice. Now in this seated position, see if you can have the other leg in front, different from the beginning of the practice, if you can remember. So if your right leg was in front, have your left leg in front this time. Good. Nice. Let's lift up, dropping down through the sit bones. We're just going to come into a simple twist. So keep the legs where they are and turn towards that right knee. The hands can just be on the floor. You can stay here for your twist, or you might be able to take that left hand to the right knee and continue to open up to the right. Now let's inhale, lift up through the top of the head. And exhale, turn towards that right shoulder. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, turn. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, turn. Good, let's come back to center and move over to the other side. So again, turning towards this left knee, you might just keep your hands on the floor, or you might want your hand on the knee just for a little more resistance and depth into the twist. Let's inhale, lift up, and exhale, turn to the left. Take the gaze towards that left shoulder. Inhale, lift, and exhale, turn. Inhale, and exhale. Good, come back to the front. Nice. Let's shake out the legs a little bit. And let's just keep the legs straight for a moment, turning those toes up. And we're going to come into a little bit of a back bend here, taking the hands behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades. Now, with your feet, press through those heels. Squeeze the shoulder blades. See if you can press the hands down. And lift the heart up so you're looking up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. See how much you can drop those heels of the hands down to straighten your arms and lift the heart up. Great. Nice. And just release. And then cross your legs with the other leg in front. Different again. And let's just do torso rotations again, just like we did at the beginning. And just notice if they feel a little bit different now. Now that we've opened up a little bit more. Good. Breathing here. Nice. Other direction. Good. Excellent. Nice. We're going to come back to our legs being open. We're going to lower down onto the mat. Nice and slowly. Taking those knees into the chest. Just rock side to side. Good. Now let's take the left foot down. We're going to reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. And see if you can bring that leg in a little bit. Now, the knee might be bent. That's okay. You might hold on to your calf or the shin, or you might be able to even hold on to the big toe. Good. Try to drop the hip down, and then we're going to, just sort of like we did standing, we're going to open up this leg to the right. So you can keep the knee bent, or you might be able to really point through those toes and open up the leg here. So we're getting into the hip a little bit more. Now try to keep this left hip down. You can even use your left hand to keep a little weight on that hip. Breathe here. Point through that right toe. You'll feel some opening again. Good. Lifting back up. And then just take this foot back down. Good. And you can just sort of windshield wiper the knees side to side. Good job. Nice. And now let's lift up the left leg. Good. So you're trying to keep these hips down and flat. The sacrum is flat on the ground. Reach the leg up and bring that leg towards you. And again, you might have the knee a little bit bent if that feels better. Right? Let's take the hand to the shin or the calf, or maybe you grab the big toe and you're going to open up the leg to the left. You're not going very far, because you want to keep these hips down, right? So you can even use the right hand now to keep that hip down as you open up. Now press through the left foot. So point the toes. Feel the opening through the hip and the inner thigh. Good. Breathing here. And let's lift up the leg and then take the foot back down. And again, just rock the knees side to side again. Good. Let's lift up the knees. Maybe hold on to the outside. Tiny bowl. Breathing here. Good. Release and lengthen. Through the arms, through the legs. Nice. And then just let yourself drop into Shavasana. So it might be comfortable today to have your legs straight, or maybe it's a day to bend your knees. Maybe it's a day to take the legs up the wall and just really release that lower back. Wherever you are, let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Allow the softness to come across the body once again. Allow all the parts that are touching the floor to just melt down into the mat. With each breath, find the softness. With each breath, find the calm in the mind. Allow yourself to take time here to spend several minutes in Shavasana, time for yourself. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.